up, guys? Welcome to the SPL with GTR and Tasteless. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing very well, Tasteless. I'm very excited for today's set of games. We're going to have a lot of TVZ, and as you would very well know, that TVZ is like the vintage Starcraft matchup, and we're going to see 3 of them today here. Samsung Galaxy against SK T1. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, it's going to be an excellent day. We are going to, we might be having some audio problems here. If you guys are having any audio problems, they will be fixed shortly here. But yeah, man, good to have you back. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a while, but you and Brendan have been doing a really good job so far with Pro League. But I'm really happy to be here, and our first game is the first non-TVZ, I guess, of the day, Deer against Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see how both players approach that game.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I would say that Deer might be the best Protoss out there right now.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that, to be honest. Deer has shown some really excellent games, and more importantly, his PvP has been much better than the other Protossers here in Korea, such as SOS, Hero. They've been struggling so far, especially SOS since coming back to Korea. He hasn't really been producing results. Hero has been struggling as well. Zest, always strong, but I feel like these days Zest has been overshadowed on KT by TY. And Deer doesn't really have that person to challenge him on Samsung. He's the lead ace player on Samsung.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. It's really exciting to see, you know, with a new game like this, the new makeup of the players, the new meta forming. This is definitely one of the more important matches that we have coming up here. Both these teams, very established. I guess you could call them old school.
Yeah, SK Telecom T1 being around since 2004. Samsung Galaxy around since 1999, actually.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, man.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how they actually do here. I think most people would agree that SK Telecom is the better team, but that does not mean they can't be trumped.
Yeah, like as we've seen this season, Afrika Freaks have been doing really well. As we see here, the results team ranking for round 1. Afrika Freaks actually surprising everyone. 4th place right now with 2 wins and 2 losses. But no surprises at the top though. SK Telecom T1 and KT Rolster are 1st and 2nd respectively.
Yeah, very excited to see the Afrika Freaks doing well. They were especially early on in the season really dominating.
And like as you said before, you think Deer's the best Protoss in Korea right now. We can see right here, he is 1st place.
And now we see that I am right.
You're right statistically.
Statistically, that and Tasteless is never wrong, GTR.
But
so,
yeah, Deer on top and Zest 2nd.
And TY not far behind.
Yeah,
TY also a phenomenal player. So we're going to be starting today out with Deer against Dream. I think most people are expecting Deer to win, but Dream, obviously a very formidable opponent.
Dream, ever since joining SK Telecom T1 from MVP, has been doing a phenomenal job for SK Telecom T1, but the problem for him is that SK T1 has so many good players. When is the chance that he can play in Pro League? But now we see him here, but he's up against Deer. It might be a hard challenge for him, but
I think to start this out, I think Deer's going to bring a lot of momentum for his team. However, as you were saying, the SK Telecom lineup is so stellar that that's usually, I would say, their greatest strength. Is it's not just 1 or 2 star players and the guys that train with them. Instead, it's really, you know, a all-star pantheon, god, man, king-like lineup. And that is, I think, where Samsung might be having a harder time here.
I love OOV said in his winners interview last year in the Pro League Grand Finals was that the luxury of having such a stacked lineup is that you can you've only got 4 best of 1s to work with, right? So you can easily adjust your weak strategies for your Pro League game or Pro League games because you have so much depth in your lineup, and that's why SK Telecom T1 have been champions of Pro League for so many times in the past.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you echoing those words from I Love OOV. I mean, these guys are just so scary, and you're right, when you have that many players, the flexibility of who you pair with who is huge. Now coming in here today, remember guys, Deer undefeated right now in the SPL. I
don't think we've seen Dream this whole season, actually, to be honest.
Dream's definitely been overshadowed by some of his teammates, but still, he's a Terran that you got to watch out for. In one game, anything can happen.
So I'm pretty sure that SK Telecom T1 have figured out a plan for the game against Deer. But you can see this record, actually, it's quite impressive for Dream, 11-4 in his favor, so he might have the psychological advantage here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you've had that many games together, and it's 4-11. I mean, there is definitely a big difference. Deer might be able to take some games off of them, but if you have to play together a lot, one player does come out on top. However, new game, new meta, and we see the votes here.
Wait, I'm ahead? No, no way.
Oh my God, GTR, what is going on?
I'm ahead.
78.7? And wait, I'm down to 54.5? Is that correct?
I don't care, I'm
that
first.
Can't be.
I'm
that
first
can't
place.
be GTR. Wow, well, congratulations,
Okay, well,
man.
let's get into this game, and we'll see if my streak will continue.
We don't know who's going to win here, but we know GTR are already ahead today. In the bottom left, in the blue, we have our Protoss player. He is Deer. And in the upper right, in the orange, our Terran player, Dream.
Dust Towers, very standard map. Going to be really interesting to see. Ooh, nice sign there. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Dream adapts to this map against Deer, who's a very solid player. So, to see Gateway being built from Deer, no fast Nexus. And
yeah, it seems like nowadays what the Terrans and the Protosses tend to be doing is they start out with their core structures, like their Gateway or their barracks, and then they just get a quick command center or Nexus after that. And what that is it's a nod towards any kind of insane all-in. Initially, when this expansion came out, I mean, people were going a little bit crazy, GTR. We had guys that were, you know, going immediate Nexus, immediate CC, and it was getting exploited, it was getting punished. So this is a little bit of a safe way to get around there.
I mean, going for that early barracks or gateways, there's no real downside to it. Some maps, it might promote getting your Nexus or your second Town Hall, I guess, first might be better, but it's Pro League and you're always going to expect crazy strategies, so I don't fault both players for going for the safe option, as we actually see a Marine coming out for Dream instead of the Reaper first, which is quite a curious move. You haven't seen the gas being taken for Dream as well, so...
Yeah, I'm wondering if he might make a third command center up here.
Yeah.
I don't know how safe this is, to be completely frank, but let's see. You know, Protoss didn't get up inside there to scout, so of course Protoss might be a little bit in the dark here as well. Oh, wow, the Marine actually passing up there.
Yeah,
but I would only assume that this would have to be an additional command center that he's going to plant over here.
Yeah, as we can see, the production tab is actually adding that extra command center away from that probe, actually. So,
for a second, when I saw that orange blip, I thought that was going to be the SCV coming down to build the command center. And I thought, man, that's going to be a huge mistake, because if he makes the command center down there, then he's giving a Deer the information that he needs. Now, there is a little bit of telegraphing going on here from the Terran here, from Dream, because it is suspicious, it is suspect that there were Marines coming out there.
Yeah, as we see that second command center going down, or third one rather, from Dream, as he's adding a few more barracks. I think our sound's working now.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. We actually opened this show up here without being able to hear each other. I hope you guys at home could hear us.
Or else we've been just talking to each other.
Otherwise, it might have been a cast that's just lost in history here. And Jay, we got the sound. Everything's good. Thank you. And hopefully you guys at home had sound throughout that. We were having some audio issues here in the studio overall. So let us know if you heard us from start to finish. Otherwise, it's good to have you here. I'm Tasteless. With me is GTR.
Let's start the whole thing again.
We can now hear each other in our headset. So just for a quick recap here, Dream going for triple command center here. GTR was highlighting the fact that he was getting Marines out there. That can telegraph the fact that there is a third base coming here. No tech. Over here for Protoss, we have something pretty typical. We are seeing Adepts being pumped out here, along with the Stargate tech here for Phoenixes. It does appear as though Deer is afraid of some kind of drop, so maybe Dream has masked his build correctly.
Yeah, it's really curious to see here that Dia is going for that Phoenix first rather than the Oracle first. Generally, you see a lot of Protosses go for that Oracle first because you can do a lot of damage against small Marine numbers, but it looks like Dia is just going to use that Phoenix to scout, see the Tech Lab with the Stim upgrade. He doesn't see the Command Center actually, so we'll see how Dia reacts to what he sees right now. I'm pretty sure it would be really suspicious. Oh, okay, he sees it now, but...
Well, he had to suspect something, right?
Because like, he only saw 3 barracks and...
Well, that, and I mean, there was nothing that came at the Protoss early on, and sometimes not seeing something you're expecting to come at you can already indicate that something else is clearly going on right there. And so he's just surveying what's happening with the Phoenixes. I'm not sure how much experience Deer has against this strategy. We haven't seen him play against this style, at least here in Legacy of the Void. But he will be going for that third Nexus a little bit later. Now, you may be asking yourself, isn't Terran not landing that command center, you know, going to not allow him to get it that much ahead? Well, between Mules and extra SCVs, he's actually in okay shape.
Yeah, once he saturates the main and his expansion at the back with some SCVs, he can just lift that command center. When he has a large enough army that he knows that any attack that Deer might be thinking of comes to his base, he can easily defend that. So, yeah, Phoenix is here just picking up a few SCVs, but they're not going to really amount to too much damage. As we see here, Starbot going to land on that reactor that has been lifted from the factory. And what I like about what Deer's doing right now is that he knows that the Terran's not going to attack anytime soon. So he decides to get that Forge and the Twilight Council, get those upgrades out quickly. Well, he hasn't chronoed them yet, but he gets that Forge as well. Oh, nice gateway explosion here. So we might see a lot of production coming soon. We haven't seen the gas being taken at the third base as well, so... Really
yeah, I think he wants to get the gas in a little bit here, but he needs all the minerals to be mined in here so he can get those gateways out. Because he's getting the Adept upgrade right now, we can pretty much bet that he's going to be massing a lot of Adepts here, and that's not the most gas-demanding thing, so that's why he's going to be getting those gases. You know, 3 bases, for Protoss especially, normally it's going to be pretty mineral-intensive, right? The stuff that costs a ton of gas would be stuff out of the Starport, or Stargate rather, and the robotics facility in some cases, and of course sentries. So just looking at the makeup of what Protoss has here, 10 Phoenixes, a Warp Prism coming, 10 Adepts, excuse me, and 2 Phoenixes. It looks like we're going to have some Phoenix, you know, harass here with some Adept dropping and pressure.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how well this Adept pressure will turn out for Deer, but looks like Dream is actually quite well versed to this. He's got a lot of units at the edge of the base. Honestly, I don't think this Warp Prism is going to do much damage with those Adepts.
Yeah, it might be a Warp Prism that he gets just because he needs to have that as part of his army. Hold on, I'll talk about this more. Let's see if this does anything. Okay, he backs up.
Yeah,
sometimes because you have it, you might as well try to use it. Terran doesn't have a ton of anti-air to actually chase that down, and that does keep the Terran, you know, a little bit more pressure to try to stay back at home and try to defend a little bit, and that is allowing Deer to comfortably take a 4th base here. He's getting the Immortals now. He's getting his weapons and armor upgrades and Blink and the Templar Archives, and it looks like the Marines should be able to scout this.
Yeah, the Marine's going to see this, and that's huge for Dream. He knows that Deer's... Yep, now he moves out. That's what I thought that he was going to do. Knowing that Deer has taken that 4th base, this is the timing for him to do a lot of damage for against Deer, and... I'm going to see what the... do you know what the upgrades are on the Marines? I'll check right now. It's just +1 weapons. So. Yeah,
+1 weapons, but it's really the numbers that are actually scary here. This is a 163 supply Terran against a 136 supply Protoss, so it's going to come down to good force fields and placement. Honestly, and you really can't even get good force fields in an area this wide open.
Honestly, I think Dream might just be able to win it here. Like, look at the supply difference. It's a solid 30 army supply ahead. And, okay, Deer has to cancel. There's no way he's going to take that. And, oh, nice warp in here, though, from Deer.
Well, let's see. I mean, how long is this actually going to last is what I'm asking myself. We see a lot of Adepts trying to phase up here into the main, but Terran is producing at enough of a rate where it seems like they're going to be just fine. Terran now stimming and coming up here. Does he have enough to hang on here? The Marauders are backing up. The Widow Mines have been planted, but are not in range of the Protoss' army. The first Immortal goes down.
Yeah, really nice timing there for Dream, sniping out those High Templars before the Storm Tech finishes. But it looks like Deer might be able to hold on to this. He's got nice amount of Adepts and Stalkers, and all that Dream has right now are just all these Marauders.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that Terran's actually expanding behind this. So, I mean, he's basically keeping the pressure on there's really nothing that Protoss can do unless he were to try to hide a base, but he'd have to get that out with a Warp Prism and a Probe there, which is not really an option right now. And from here, I mean, Deer survives. He's won the battle, but has he lost the war? I think that's the question we got to ask ourselves.
Yeah, really huge problem here for Deer is that those Widow Mines are forcing him away from engaging this army because there is no observers there to detect those Widow Mines, and Dream's just pulling a lot of units towards the base of Dream, and it's a real peculiar position here for Deer.
Yeah, well, I think with that
now.
Widow Mine connection,
Yeah.
I think he can actually start to clean this up. Now, the medevacs might be dried up as far as how much more they can heal, but still, this number of Marauders is actually pretty remarkably scary. And again, like I was saying earlier, the 4th base is being taken here. Oh, that's not a good sign either. So I think even if Deer survives this attack, the rest of the game, I don't know how he recovers from this.
Yeah, I think Dream's just done too much damage here, and even if he moves back and goes back to that 4th, there's not enough of an army here from Deer to do a counterattack because, yeah, that's a really small army there from Deer. I'm not really sure how he can get back into this game.
Yeah, I'm just not sure, you know. He's backing up now. And really, this is fine for Terran. I mean, granted, he did milk all the energy from those medevacs. But look, Terran just regroups and keeps the pressure on. I mean, this is, you know, Dream is looking stellar right now. And this is all due to the build that he did that Deer was not keen to early on in this game. It's allowed him to just have this monumental lead. And I got to say, I really like it.
Yeah, like if he holds that ramp up there that connects the 3rd base and the 4th base, I don't think Deer's going to be able to break through that, especially with these Liberators out. It's going to be really hard for Deer to break through those Liberators. Especially, the Storm's out, but I'm not sure if it's going to do enough damage to keep him into this game.
Nah, well, I mean, the other problem is that the 4th base is going to be cut off. He's actually already hitting it right now with these Marauders, as we can see over here. Now, Protoss has a sizable army. Is it enough to actually save that base in time? But that's the big question. A blink forward here, taking out the Liberator. The Terran army is beginning to back up. But already that Nexus has been destroyed. And that's all that Dream needed to do back there in order to cement this lead.
Yeah, but those units there of Dream, that Bioforce rather, those medevacs have no energy, and if Deer like stalls this army long enough, okay, there's a fresh batch of army units here.
I think he's still going to be okay in the long run. I mean, eventually Protoss has to get this 4th base up, and if he doesn't do it, and Terran just keeps doing this, Terran's eventually going to have enough money to have a 5th base here. Also, the complexity of the Protoss' army is beginning to dwindle. We're seeing it's pretty much the Stalkers right now, and when the Immortal goes down,
Even Ghosts are out. Like,
yeah, this is it. The sophistication of the Terran army is just too big.
I mean, Protoss only has Stalkers here, and Marauders just eat Stalkers for breakfast, honestly, so... Yeah, Dream's got that 4th base nicely secured as well.
There it is. GG. Dream takes game number 1. Very impressive plays. Again, it was all that build in the start.
Yeah.
It was just a solid, really good build, and this is a really, really bad sign right now for Deer's team. This is disastrous. SK Telecom looks so good.
Oh, finger wag.
The finger wag. Yeah, I mean, SK's lineup is so good, and I think if there was one guy that was going to win today, for Samsung, it was going to be Deer.
Yeah, Deer being...
That's who I was actually guessing there. So this is pretty bad.
Yeah, Deer, the ace of Samsung, arguably, and all the momentum's in SKT's favor now. And Dream, one of those players, he's a very good player, but in the context of SKT's lineup, he's not really their top player. And
Sure,
when you have those, no offense to Dream, but one of those lower players that take games off the ace players, it relieves a lot of burden off the backs of your star players. They don't have to take that win if they,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's pretty insane, man. Let's see how the next game goes here. We're gonna hop into that in a moment here, but the pressure right now on for Samsung. SKT looking untouchable. Again, a very sad moment there for Deer. Normally Deer is able to show off his finesse and his agility in mid-game, in late game. Great at blinks, great at harass, but this was a build order defeat.
I have to mention also that Marine scouting that 4th base, because I'm pretty sure if Dream did not scout that 4th base, he wouldn't have moved out immediately, and it would have given Deer some more time to prepare for any inevitable attack that Dream was thinking about, but he caught Deer with his pants down pretty much and lost the game from there.
Yeah, Up next, we're going to have Reality against Dark. Reality, a solid player, very good, but can he take on Dark? Dark is an absolutely terrifying player.